My name is Adam Parr, and I'm the host of the Parrsitivity Podcast. This podcast focuses on motivation, mindset, positivity, mental health, and many other areas. In this podcast, I've connected with people from all different walks of life. You can connect with me on social media in the link below. And if you like this podcast, please like, share, and comment and subscribe because it really helps the channel and the podcast to grow. Now, without further ado, I hope you enjoy the video.
Tuning in, trying to find out how to win. Go along and tell a friend. Marathon, you know the game. Keep on running, never end. Getting better, make amend. Adam got it, Adam got it, Adam got it, Adam got it. Parrsitivity, 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 Parrsitivity. Tune in.
Divya, it's great to have you on the podcast. How are you doing today? You all right?
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for having me here today.
No, you're very
How are
welcome.
you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. It's a bit chilly where I am, so I've got my jacket, so I'm quite prepared. I've got gloves here in case it gets too cold. It's not as cold as Canada where you're based, but just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been talking about relationships and energy and COVID and how kind of relationships being kind of affected during this time. The importance of relationships, healthy relationships, and recognizing toxic relationships. And we were saying just now before we started that it's important to kind of recognize and kind of ask yourself those questions of when things might not be going so well.
That's right. It's more like do not jump into a relationship or a situation just because everyone else is jumping. Right? Just don't get married not unless you figure that out, or you're more like, oh, my sister is getting married, let me get married too, because eventually parents gonna say, oh, your sister is married, are you getting married or what? You don't feel like just say no, I'm not.
Yeah.
um rather than jumping, think it before, then to just getting out of it. If you want to be that you know movies kind or bookish kind, last longer kind of thing, which will give you inner peace rather than just, oh my god, shit, I have to go back there. Right? That
Yeah.
kind of stuff. More like just to satisfying what society says or others says, rather than think about yourself first, because eventually you won't end up hurting yourself if you're getting out of it, the other person who's with you too. And then, like I said earlier, everybody's threshold is different. Your can be 10%, mine can be 20 or 30. And it won't be that much damaging to you, but the other person, you don't know how well or bad he's gonna or she's gonna take it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think like we need to kind of like focus on ourselves and what we feel is right, and not please XYZ person or follow suit of society or what our friends are doing. And I think that's kind of what a lot of people do. And I think we always kind of want to be like our friends or our sisters and or brothers. And I think there's a lot of pressure on people sometimes, especially if their parents are asking them, "Oh, are you getting married?" And you don't want to say no, or you don't want to appear to be different. And I think if you're doing things for the sake of pleasing other people, then it's a bit of a slippery slope. And I think people need to be very careful, don't they, if they're on that slope. And a lot of the time, people probably don't know they're on that slope.
That's right. I mean, you actually, just like a job, right? You don't know what you want to do it. You don't feel satisfied, you just run out of it. Same is
mm,
like relationship. If you will jump in just in a relationship and then you'll be like, oh shit, I have to get out of it in no
mm,
time.
mm,
It's like doing commitment which you don't want to fulfill because you are not ready for it.
mm,
It's so better than just going and following it. Think of it, then act. That you really want this, or just because the other one is saying, then you want it.
mm. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I think, don't have like, a relationship for the sake of just having a relationship kind of thing. Don't just do it just to fill that gap. Um, as I think like, kind of have to kind of like, work on yourself and get through, whatever it is that you need to kind of work on, so you're
Because
okay.
if you won't be working on yourself, what you'll fill with is just insecurities too much, or too much anger that that person is not the way you actually, wanted, or um, the things are not going as you planned,
Mm,
right? So it's more of a anger, or
mm,
kind of, then you fall into a toxic relationship. And then toxic is more like not only just physical, it can be emotional, mental. It's just not always I'm swearing. It
mm,
can be I'm ignoring, I am indifferent to you.
mm,
That is also a toxic thing. It's it's
yeah.
um it's just so sad we don't figure out that thing sometimes, that the other person is, or you are just dumping your, you know, I won't use shit word, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
sadness, or
yeah.
your insecurities on the other one. And it won't just affect you, it will affect their mental health too, because
Mm,
everyone's uh, percentage of taking, everyone's threshold of taking things is quite different. It maybe
mm,
you have seen things kind
mm,
of, difficult kind of things. I may have not. And if you
yeah.
throw that on me, it's going to be like, it's okay for you, not for me, not for my health,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, no, yeah, no, definitely. I think that's important. I think like as well, whatever you've experienced in the past or previous relationships, that is in the past. It's there. It's gone. Okay, it might still, and the things you might get triggered by things, but recognize that, but don't bring that thing from the past. Like that's like carrying bricks on your back. And be aware of what the past is and whatever happened. But that person you're with now in the present moment in that relationship isn't the past, and
Exactly. And that person
can't bring
does
it
not
in.
always be same together, right? Heal before you, feel,
Mm,
right?
like yeah, I like that.
It's
Yeah.
more like inner healing is, your healing is more important.
Mm,
If certain, let's say, just an example, if you have been ditched by someone
mm,
in the past for somebody else, and now you are in back on a relationship, now that relationship is more vibrant, that person is, more friendly or more nice to everybody, but you'll still have that thing in your head that other person left you because of somebody else. So you'll have that insecurity in your head all the time, and maybe you won't speak it for a time, but eventually you will, or maybe your gesture's gonna show it,
mm,
right? So it's better you understand things, that everything is not or same, it will end up same, not unless you will heal it, you will heal in yourself, you'll end up going to same thing. Just like, I don't know it's relevant or not, but there was this experiment done by, I forgot the scientist's name, but he did that, that
yeah, it's fine.
uh dog ringing thing, that he rings the bell, dog has
Yeah,
all swallowing thing, oh my god, all drooling thing, I'm getting my food, right?
yeah,
he
yeah,
he
yeah,
used to do that. I think it was Laporf, kind,
yeah, yeah. I'll
something scientist
research it,
name.
and yeah.
Yeah, but then what he did was, he didn't put the food there, but he belled the ring, right?
Mm,
He rang the bell, and then the dog came whole drooling and everything. But then he saw there's no food,
mm,
right? You are going into situation every time thinking that I'm gonna get my food, but this time there's no food.
yeah.
So if it, it's tricky to connect it, but it's more like you are now in that situation, you get okay with that situation, you feel comfortable in that situation. So not unless you will be healed, you will be like, okay, I need more, i
Mm,
I want this thing, you'll end
mm,
up again in the same situation, and you'll be again disappointed.
mm. Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think like what you said as well, like with that, kind of going in with those expectations of how things. If you go in with those expectations of expecting that person to be, X, Y, Z,
Yeah,
you're, you'll get, because when you're getting to know somebody, it's exciting, and it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty exciting, and if you're setting yourself up those expectations, then you kind of probably, setting yourself up to fail because that person might not be, however, you're imagining them to be like, or how you're imagining the relationship to turn out. And there's nothing wrong with, kind of imagining good things because we want good things to happen. But I think you could be doing that and not really knowing who that person is and what they're about. But you've kind of got this kind of concept in your head of how they're going to be or what it's going to be like. And that person may touch on some of those things, but over time, there might not be that full complete picture. But you've got to get to know that person, haven't you,
that's right.
before.
Yeah, just like my mom says, "Oh, go get married. I'm getting old. I have to dress up like that." And she's like, "I won't get good pictures." I'm like, "Okay, mom, but it's okay to dream. It's nice to dream about such things for your children. It's not
Mm,
that bad, but
mm,
I'm not ready for it because
mm,
marriage is not like two people meeting. It's like two whole family meeting,
mm,
right? You don't have to keep just a person. You have to accept his whole family or her whole family kind of
mm,
thing.
mm.
So, not till you're ready about it, I don't think so. You should just jump into it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think, if you're, excuse me, if you're jumping into situations for the sake, of other people, your kind of core kind of, happiness, you're not going to be completely happy if you're doing it based on, pleasing other people because they want you to have X, Y, Z. Um, because, and a lot of the time, you know, certain people have had their script. They've got their script of what their parents said to them and what their parents said to them, and then it's like, it's your turn now because that's what was told to them probably sometimes. And it, I think, there's no right or wrong time of when you get married or have kids or whatever happens. I think if
Yeah,
like I know loads of people who've got boyfriends and girlfriends who've got houses and who are married, and okay, I'm happy for them, and that's good. One day I say to myself, that'll be me one day, but I'm not kind of thinking to myself, oh, I need to be doing that because they're doing that, and I think that's what some people can do, and I think you've got to be careful because you might get all that, you might do that. This is my advice. Um, you get the car, you get the house, you get a mortgage, and then you might not actually know that person properly. You might have rushed into it, and I think you've got to take your time to get to know somebody, haven't you? And I think like you said, love at first sight. I mean, it happens. People, they meet somebody, they move in, and they have kids, and it happens very quick. That happens, and I think sometimes it works, but I think a lot of the time you just got to be so careful because it's your time and energy, and you can't get that time and energy back. But like we are saying earlier, whatever experience you have in relationship is experience, and whether that is good or it's bad, it is still kind of that feedback, and it kind of builds a picture of what you do want and what you don't want in a relationship.
Yeah, just like I said earlier, you have to heal before you go and attach yourself with someone else's vibe, right?
Mm,
You are not secure inside, you are not at peace inside, you won't be end up the way you imagine. You will
mm,
end up again same way, which will not be able to heal you. And who knows, you will affect the other person too, right?
mm.
That person will be in his non-healing area
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah,
You'll make that person so violated that you won't be end up just hurting you or affecting you, but the other person too.
mm, mm.
That's why we have that kind of things, right? Dominant, recessive, submissive,
Yeah,
those kind of people. Those are actually characters of people. It can be your overall personality is dominating, but to a certain person, it's submissive or you're recessive, right?
mm, mm.
So it's better to communicate, take time, not only for that person, but communicating with yourself too.
Mm,
That evaluating yourself and then evaluating the things, how it's going, rather than just acting because that situation is ugly.
mm.
Think and then act, or you just want to act or think later. Both are different and both will end up in different kind of things for you.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, definitely. I think like what we touch base on as well is being. You touch base. I'm trying to think of what you said. Like being happy, and the different personality types. Like some people being submissive, and like these different characteristics that people can express in relationships that kind of play out. Um, like, do you think certain people attract certain kind of people? Like say
Right.
empaths. Because I feel I'm quite empathic, and I think you're quite an empath. You mentioned, and sometimes certain kind of personalities or traits can attract certain people. Sometimes, do you think?
That's right. It's because we have grown into certain situations. I'm not sure you have read about it. There is a questionnaire comes which falls under ACE. It's for childhood trauma kind of thing,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm, mm.
So if you agree with everything, that is how that person is affected. That much that person has been affected.
Yeah, yeah.
So what you have seen in your childhood, in your early ages,
Mm,
it will eventually somewhere will lead you to end up in same situation. Like if you have seen your parents having a toxic relationship, like abusive relationship, maybe you'll end up in one
mm,
because you felt that that is right, you know because this is how a relationship works. And
mm.
if you are in a normal relationship, it will make you agitated. Oh shit, maybe it's not the thing I want, right? So it's the pattern for a relationship is from the starting, from the beginning. You have developed yourself. The way you have grown will end up will make you end up in a relationship which you have seen. Like maybe
Mm.
you have seen your parents having a um I'll say magical kind of relationship, right? A perfect compatibility. Before he speaks, she knows it, or before she says that I'm angry, or your father's like, "Oh, dude, I should
Mm.
not touch her this time." Like not that way. I should use careful kind of words, right? So
Mm.
maybe
Mm.
you're looking for that kind of thing. It's just because you are seeing it. We perceive that those things which we see, right?
Mm. Mm.
We eventually find those things, and if you end up with someone else and you don't find that kind of connection, you'll recall that, oh, those not only parents, let's say your friends or your brother sister has
Yeah.
those kind of relationships. My relation is not going that way. I think I should quit. It's just we have to, agree with it that one, all good relations take time. It
Mm.
just not build up in a day, just like Rome, right?
Mm.
Uh, Good things
Wasn't.
take time.
Yeah.
Second, you have to keep on evaluating within you yourself. If you will be more, saying, or if you are more like doing things rather than speaking, I think the other person will do it too. That you are caring, why not the other person will do it?
Mm.
In the end, we just need love, or we just need a little bit of appreciation to be together. And that makes a good relationship. Communicating. You haven't lost yourself in a relationship. It's just like two different identities are being together,
Mm.
being one, rather than just being together and you have forgotten yourself and she has forgotten yourself, and you end up in a toxic relationship.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree with you, and I think you made some really valid points, and it's so true that like people can lose themselves in the relationship, and they can get in toxic relationships, and they can almost kind of like please the other person. And I think, like you said, it's that push and pull. It's a two-way, it's a two-way thing. It's not just one person giving, giving, and the other person just
Exactly.
taking.
It's
Because
everyone's contribution to make a good relationship.
mm,
Like if it's for two people, it's gonna be both contributions. I won't say about the percentage 50-50. I'll just you cannot weigh someone contribution or other one's contribution, right? It's just like you both have to be into it.
mm. It's that commitment, isn't it? You need to both be committed to it, and you both need to be putting in that commitment and that same amount.
Yeah,
And like you mentioned previously, I can't remember the points, but you said like the triangle. There's
yeah,
like
triangular
a
theory of love. Yeah. It is commitment, passion, and intimacy.
mm. I think
Just
that
like love at first sight will consider it as a passion, and then it will lead to commitment or intimacy, either way. Or the marriage will is considered as intimacy and commitment, later as passion. So these three things makes a triangular theory of love.
mm. And through that it just builds, and I think like it's that communication is it plays a big massive part in in a relationship. It's like it's almost the way I see it is like when you build a house, you have the foundations, the
Foundation.
relation, yeah, the foundations. And there's trust, communication, honesty, trust, communication, honesty, um and that love. And I think, without that kind of
accountability, and then
yeah.
caring, nurturing fully yourself, and then then only, if you'll be nurturing yourself, then only you can nurture other. And in fact, consent is important in every
Mm,
kind of relationship. It should
mm,
be important. You should not just feel like, oh, we are in a relationship, let's jump into it, or just think. Don't assume, ask.
yeah. No, I definitely agree. I think that's so important. And, being having that communication with the other person and both being on that same page, is key, because, that's when, a lot of, negative things can probably happen, and fallouts. And so communication is definitely key, and, being honest with each other.
Yeah,
Uh, but like, communication, from experience as well, like, you have to try and, learn from past mistakes, or, previous relationships, and, don't bring those previous mistakes into the current one. Try and learn from them. And I think, like, the communication is key with, if there's something going on, or there's something you want to say, don't wait 2 weeks and then bring it up. Talk about it, try and be in the here and now.
yeah, just
Uh,
don't wait for a week and then, oh, I'm gonna plan a war now. Just
yeah,
talk.
yeah. Like, oh yeah, that thing you was meant to do, or this really, pissed me off, but it's been 2 weeks. That happens, but I think, you need to be present in the moment and talk about it. But don't,
Yeah,
I think, oh, not text. Text is probably the worst way to communicate a big problem. And, I've done it
right.
myself. And you're interpreting, like, a message that you see on a screen. If you talk kind of
Uh,
how we are, it's more clear. You see the person, not only see the person, but it's direct communication. um so you could talk about something and then it's done. Okay. Or you meet in person.
yeah, right. No text and sarcasm can be okay, but not too
Yeah.
much of sarcasm, right?
Yeah.
After 2 weeks, you're like bamming your sarcasm, and the other person will, shit, what did I do?
Yeah. Yeah. i
That
think
way.
I think once you get to know that person, you just kind of, so everyone, this is the crazy thing, everybody's different. And sometimes, I don't know, what is funny to ourselves might not be the other person. Some people can be more sensitive, so you have to be so careful,
Yeah.
especially over text. I've said things, and then the person hasn't replied, or it's just like K, and you're like, okay, probably shouldn't have said that, or I might have just worded that the wrong way. So
Yeah, it's not okay to just bamming your emotions in a text. A text cannot explain. I think when you're talking in a person, that will be more kind of effective, and that will be more like, oh, you are in that moment. You have to talk about it. It's good to heal that way rather than just assuming that, damn, sent a text of so emotional, so angry text, and that person just said, okay.
mm,
And you'll self assume that she doesn't matter to them, or they don't care that much, or maybe it's me who is more into it. It's just going to make you self presumptive about certain things which are actually not existing.
mm,
It's better to talk to that person in person, that you know what, I don't feel comfortable with that, or um, the thing that happened, it should not been that way, because that person will keep it in account that, last time it happened this way, let's try the other way. There
mm,
is always a midway, always a midway. It's never that there is not. If you both want to be in that, you'll always find a way.
mm. Yeah, I think if you want to definitely find a way to make it work, I think you'll make it work. And I think I know people who, oh, well, I won't drop any names, but I know people who, who've been through a lot of things, and they've pieced those pieces back together, through, pretty big things happening. And sometimes things like that happen. I think everything happens for a reason in some way, and sometimes they make the relationship stronger. But I think you've got to be honest with yourself, and you have to be happy. You have to be
Yeah.
happy, and there's no point being unhappy in something. But another thing as well, like we talked about attachment, people, when you get attached to somebody, it's some people stay attached to people even if they're in a negative relationship because they don't want to be alone, and that's those. Sorry, you still there? You still there?
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah.
You're not able to see me?
No, your video's just gone off a second. I can
Oh.
see you now. I can see you now. But yeah, the people can be in a relationship that's negative and they're attached to that person, but that they're still getting those strokes of attention, and those negative strokes of attention, and they're better than kind of no strokes of attention. So sometimes people get caught in those relationships, and we have to be so careful because that's not healthy.
Yeah.
But sometimes people, they learn and they realize and they then get into healthy relationships. But sometimes people go to what's the norm, or what their habits.
That's right.
But I think the ultimate goal, in my opinion, is to be happy and to be in a healthy relationship. And I think you think
Um,
the same as well.
exactly. If you're not happy, you won't make anybody happy.
Mm,
It's more like you you have to put yourself first, then you can put somebody else. If you have never known how to love yourself, I don't think so you can love anybody else. It's just a matter of time you'll realize it.
mm,
You don't know the meaning of love. You don't know how to do it to yourself. You don't know how
mm,
to respect yourself.
mm,
Eventually, you'll be like, okay, you'll be out of that relationship very soon, often, because
mm,
if you don't know how to treat yourself, I don't think so you can treat anybody. It's easier to act for, how many years you can act. 1 year. 1 year, I'm saying too much. Maybe 3 months, maybe
mm,
3 weeks. What after that?
mm,
You'll be running out of it because you don't know about it. How will you do
mm,
it?
mm.
You'll run out of it.
Yeah, it's almost like playing an act, isn't it? People playing this kind of role, this kind of
Yeah,
act, and
you
then
cannot play a
it's
role for let's say more than a 3 week or something. 3 weeks be I think I'm saying a lot, but yeah,
still a long time.
exactly.
It's
You cannot.
because a lot of energy has to go into playing that act or that role as well.
That's right.
Whereas if you're just yourself, you what I mean. It's you're not putting all those eggs in that basket to fill that role. Yeah, I think the things we've been talking about are really important, and I think it's kind of a bit like the kind of paradox of life, isn't it? Relationships. People, we want relationships, and we're constantly on this kind of like journey. I find that we're kind of like finding our way. Um,
Yeah.
and some people, you know, go really far into life, and they're still trying to figure out, what kind of relationship they want. So I mean, I think there's a lot of pressure on people, when people say you're getting married and all the rest of it, because
Oh, yes.
you're trying to figure out what it is that you want, and and find the right person. So I think you kind of just have to take each kind of step at a time, don't you? And just kind of, I think people usually say you'll know. People usually say you'll know. Just kind of click. Um, but I think you kind of got to go with your ultimate intuition, haven't you? And what kind of feels right.
Yeah, I just have to pee really fast.
It's okay.
Just pee. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I'll be here. Just
Okay,
give me 5 minutes, okay?
it's all right. It's all right. I'll pause it.
Okay. Thank you.
So, no worries. Yeah, sorry, the just back because the connection went for a second, but yeah, you was just saying like, you know, like gratification and like, you know, the that experiment with the dogs, and I think people kind of sometimes want, you know, there's that instant gratification and things with like online dating and things like this. Like, I don't see anything wrong in online dating. I think it's how you use it and what you use it for. But I think sometimes people, you know, they find it a lot easier to kind of have that gratification of just kind of dating, getting someone, and then probably seeing someone else and so forth. Because I think, you know, like relationships, you know, are not the, you know, the easiest thing in the world, and it takes a lot of commitment, it takes a lot of work. But so people sometimes find it easier probably just to do that. But I think, you know, long
Yeah.
term relationships are a lot more kind of rewarding in the long run.
What I'll say to it is, I know, I'll just rhyme it, heal before you deal and feel,
Mm,
right? And then eventually it'll be so real.
mm.
God, I can be a rapper.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to contact Kanye West or something like that as a music producer.
uh, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll try Drake.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah. Watch out.
Oh, yeah.
But but no, it's I mean, I think it's you kind of have to learn, like you said yourself. I think, like we said earlier, was that people can give you advice and people can kind of tell you what to do and you know what worked for them. But like when you're in something, you don't see it. You have to kind of jump through those hoops yourself and get burnt a few times, and then
Yeah.
hopefully kind of realize, and then be like, okay, next time around, I'm going to do X, Y, Z instead of this, or because I've had
It's
it, you know.
more like learning yourself every time and every day. You learn something. It's not only about a relationship, just a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband wife relationship. It's always at the work too. You learn something new about the work. You learn something new about the people you're working with. You learn something new about even your friends or
Mm,
yourself too, that sometimes I feel amazed that, wow, I have that much patience in me. Wow, I
yeah,
should be like, whoa, clap,
yeah,
clap, just
yeah, yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
yourself. That kind of thing. It's just you always learn about something new about
Mm,
everything. So that's easier, right? It's easy to give advice, or it's easy to take advice, I'll say.
mm,
But if you are acting, that is where the question is. Are you acting that way? It's You won't be doing it not unless you are in it,
mm,
right?
yeah,
You don't know about how a toxic relationship can be emotionally or mentally, not unless you are in it, not unless you figures out a boundary yourself.
mm,
Right? Just like if I am angry or I just say anything, like anything, and I'm dumping on you,
mm,
then only you'll be like, okay, this is not how she should be treating me, or this is how not I should get to know about the things, or
mm, mm,
I'm not the one who's at fault. Then only
yeah,
you'll get to know, oh, this is toxic for me, this is toxic for my health. I should
mm,
get out of it.
mm,
It's just like sinking or swimming. You're in the water, you yourself have to learn. Either you'll swim or you'll sink.
mm, yeah, yeah. No, they're good points. I think as well with that, you know, like recognizing, you know, your energy, isn't it? And you know, what are you is what you're giving out. You know, what you're giving out, are you getting that back? You know, are
That's
you
right.
putting in 100% and getting 20%? Are you putting in 20%? And you know, it's these questions, isn't it? You know, just kind of asking yourself these questions and kind of like having that kind of self evaluation, isn't it? Of evaluation of the situation, um, because I think when you've been in probably some relationships that you know you've been in that place, you go into the next situation and it's more clearer almost. You kind of got that in the back of your mind where you've been once, and you can kind of sometimes start to see patterns. But like, nobody's kind of perfect. Everyone's got their own things going on, or their own things to work on.
Yeah.
It's part of being human. We've all got our own things, but there comes a kind of line, like a line on the ground where you're not bringing that into the relationship. You're not affecting that other person, and you're going to work on yourself. And it kind of goes hand in hand as well, because if you're working on your stuff, if there's stuff there, then that person might do the same on themselves, and then you kind of come closer together, and it's like this, and you kind of grow. I think that's how relationships should be. That's my opinion.
I agree with you. This is how I think a relationship or anything works. Evaluation yourself, and then your identity, and then how much you're contributing, and your self-esteem. This is what
Mm,
makes a healthy relationship.
mm. Yeah, no, definitely. And the thing is as well, if something's going on with yourself, you're taking responsibility for that, and not saying, oh wait, it's not me, it's you.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes in some people, they'll say, oh, it's not me, it's you who's being that way. And then sometimes probably if people doubt themselves, and then they think, oh, it's me, it's in mind games and gaslighting, there's a whole kind of field, those kind of mind games. Sometimes games people play in relationships for whatever reason. Some people
Just to
probably don't.
be, I think,
Yeah.
on the upper side, putting their upper hand in a relationship kind of
Mm.
thing.
Yeah, it's not a competition. It shouldn't be a competition.
Yeah. I hope everybody eventually will get it that it's not a competition to be in a relationship with anybody.
Yeah.
For how long you can pull it off? I wonder.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Um, just thinking, is there anything else that you would like to touch base on?
No, I think we pretty much touch
Yeah.
based everything. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
for healthy relationship, all we need is self-esteem, then how much you're contributing, and what is your personal identity, never to
Mm,
let it go. And then of course communication, consent, all these things give a high, better foundation to a good
mm,
healthy relationship. And of course the boundaries,
yeah.
any kind of physical, mental boundaries to your partner, and respect.
Mm. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think they're all key, important, qualities and assets, in a relationship. And I think people will take a lot from the things that we touch base on,
Yeah.
and be able to relate to it as well. Um, where can you find you on social media and things like that? Instagram, LinkedIn, or website?
So you can find me everywhere.
Yeah.
You can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on Instagram,
Yeah.
and Facebook too.
Yeah. MySpace.
Exactly. They can
Yeah.
find me in your
Yeah.
account.
Yeah. Oh, but I will definitely I'll put your links in the description of the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, Divya, it's been great talking to you, and I really appreciate your
Likewise.
time. It's been great. But
Thank you.
no, you're welcome.
And
But
bless
no,
you too.
yeah. No, bless you. Yeah. But no, have a great evening where you are, and I wish you all the best.
You too.
No, sweet, thank you. But no, I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast, and I wish you all the
Yes, I
best.
did. Thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome.